Women's soccer plays tough against number 1.
And swim and dive team put up stellar performances.
All this and more coming up on the Penguin Rundown. Hello everybody and welcome to this week's edition of the Penguin Rundown. I am Noah Ricks alongside my host Donald Van Hoort. And Donald, I believe this is your second time doing Penguin Rundown.
Yes, this is indeed my second time hosting the show.
And we're going to talk about an action-packed week from YSU. Unfortunately, the football team falling short on the road at South Dakota, but the women's soccer team having a very great performance against number 1 ranked in the Horizon League, Milwaukee. But let's go into football.
The 20th ranked Youngstown State football team was defeated 34-31 by the 17th ranked South Dakota on Saturday afternoon. YSU trailed 31-10 in the third quarter before scoring 3 consecutive touchdowns to tie the game. Senior running back Dre Rushton recorded a career-high 116 yards on the ground in just 16 touches. Senior quarterback Mitch Davidson completed 15 of 26 passes for 267 yards and 3 touchdowns. Sophomore receiver Max Tomczak had an outstanding day, catching 6 passes for 134 yards. The loss to the Coyotes brings the Gwyn's overall record to 3-3 with an MVFC record of 1-2. The Penguins will meet Illinois State at Stambaugh Stadium on Saturday. The traditional homecoming game against the Redbirds is set to start at 2 p.m.
The YSU women's soccer team went up against top-ranked Milwaukee this past Thursday at Farmers National Bank Field. The Penguins came into the matchup with a 6-0-0 record in conference play, firmly in first in the Horizon League standings. As for the Penguins, they came into the matchup 2-3-2, sending them 9th place in the conference. The first half saw strong defensive performances from both sides, and the score is still tied 0-0. Quickly into the second half, senior Emma Rigoni buried a header off a corner kick from senior Justine Apollonia. In just the 47th minute, the Penguins had the lead over first-ranked Milwaukee. 8 minutes later, in the 55th minute, Milwaukee was awarded a penalty kick and elected sophomore defender Christina Carliff to take the kick. Carliff sent her PK to the back of the net and scored her first goal of the season. The game would end in a 1-1 tie as the Penguins broke the Panthers' win streak. Rigoni ended the game with 2 shots on goal, and senior goalie Brooklyn Kirkpatrick had 5 saves. The Penguins will return to the pitch this Saturday, October 21st, to face off against Green Bay University in Green Bay, Wisconsin. You can watch the game live on ESPN Plus or catch live stats from the game at greenbayphoenix.com.
The YSU volleyball team continued their series of road games with a match against the Robert Morris Colonials last Friday night. It was back and forth, with YSU taking the first set, losing the second set, winning the third, and then unable to secure the fourth set, which led to the deciding fifth set, resulting in a 15-12 loss. YSU did have a strong defense, outnumbering Robert Morris in blocks and digs, but the offense could not match the standard. YSU concluded its road trip last night against the Wright State Raiders. For the final results of that match, visit YSUsports.com. Coming up this weekend, YSU will host 2 matches in Beagley Center. The first will be Friday night against the Cleveland State Vikings, and the next day will be against the Oakland Golden Grizzlies. Both matches are set to start at 6 p.m. and can be watched on ESPN+. Here to talk more about the upcoming opponents, Caleb Ellison will meet the team.
Thanks guys, Caleb Ellison here to introduce you to the volleyball team's upcoming opponents. While Friday night's game against the Cleveland State Vikings will be exciting, today I want to mostly focus on the Oakland Golden Grizzlies. Coming into today, the Grizzlies are tied for 3rd place in the Horizon League standings with a conference record of 6-3, with their last win coming last Saturday against the Green Bay Phoenix. The Grizzlies' offense is led by senior Patty Cesnarini. The senior leads the team in kills with 250 and service aces with 25. Her average 3.63 points per set is 5th overall in the Horizon League. She also contributes defensively and is 2nd on the team with 221 digs. Defensively, junior libero Emily Wickman is a machine, leading Oakland and all of the Horizon League in digs with 423. Something to note about this upcoming matchup, earlier in the season on September 22nd, the YSU Penguins picked up a victory over Oakland, just the 2nd time that has happened in the past 10 years. A win for the Penguins on Saturday can be a huge momentum shift as they look towards the Horizon League playoffs. That matchup, like I said, is this Saturday night at 6 p.m. And if you're already in the area for the homecoming football game, feel free to come across the street to the Beagley Center. I've been Caleb Ellison, and we'll see you next time when we meet the team. Noah and Donald, back to you.
Thanks, Caleb. That was such a nice insight on the volleyball team from Oakland, but we'll go into the bowling team as the Youngstown State bowling team competed in the three-day Penguin Classic this past weekend at the Holiday Bowl. On Friday, YSU went undefeated and averaged 204.4 per game and 1,021%, totaling 5,105 total pins. They started the day with a win against Wright State and finished the day with 1,054 to 867 against Lewis. On Saturday, the Penguins faced their first loss against Niagara with a 1,049 to 1,020, but finished the day with a win against Central Missouri with a 1,036 to 967. Senior Kirsten Moore became the third Penguin in program history to win the Penguin Classic with MVP honors as the highest individual finisher. On Sunday, YSU finished runner-up against Arkansas State with 1,096 to 987 total pins. The Penguins played 69 games and averaged 201.3 per game for the tournament with a total of 13,888 pins. The bowling team is back in action from October 27th to the 29th at the Sunshine State Classic. To keep up to date with the team, visit YSUsports.com.
The Youngstown State University men's and women's cross-country team had an impressive performance that included new program best times at the Arturo Barrios Invitational on October 13th. Senior Hunter Christopher clocked a record time of 23:17.5 in the men's 8K to break his previous school record set earlier this season by over 30 seconds. Senior Ryan Meadows also clocked in with a record-breaking time at 23:43.3. In total, 9 Penguins finished under 25 minutes in the 8K, which prior to this race, only 9 other Penguins had done so in school history. The women's squad was led by graduate student Morgan Cole, who tied the 6K record of 20:41, which has remained untouched since 2013. The Penguins will return to action at the highly anticipated Horizon League Championship on October 28th in Fairborn, Ohio.
This past weekend, the YSU swim and dive teams traveled west on I-76 to compete in the Akron Zips Classic. There were great performances from both the men and women all around. The men overall compiled 1,178 total points to place second, with only Xavier winning by 25 points. The relay team of Soma Albert, James Slesser, Alexa Rodenovic, and Gavin Redden won both the 200 and 400 medley relays with times of 130.84 and 319.63 respectively. The 200 and 400 for freestyle relays were also won by the Gwins, as the team of Rares Druga, Rodenovic, Darren Lang, and Redden cashed in times of 123.05 and 302.18. On the women's end, freshman Hannah Held led the divers by placing second in the 3-meter with a mark of 264.15 and finishing third in the 1-meter at 236.70. Miriam Frost led the swimmers with a third-place mark in the 1653 at 1709.78, a 6th place finish in the 400 IM at 432.92, and 7th place in the 200 breaststroke at 223.41. The swim and dive teams will have their first official home meet on October 29th when they welcome in Niagara and St. Francis into the Beagley Natatorium. First events will start at 1 p.m. For results on this meet, go to YSUsports.com.
The women's tennis team headed to East Lansing, Michigan this past weekend as they competed in the ITA Midwest Regionals hosted by Michigan State. In singles action, the Penguins were only able to grab a pair of wins as junior Julia Marco and freshman Laura Cedino were able to come out on top. Meanwhile, in doubles play, YSU was able to grab just one victory as the team of senior Eliska Masarikovo and freshman Yesenia Ocharova were able to come out victorious. Up next for the women's tennis team, they will stay close to home this weekend as they will be competing at the Cleveland State Viking Invitational. For live updates throughout the season, you can follow at YSU Women's Tennis on X.
And now for this week's Play of the Week, we'll send it over to our very own Dylan Lux.
Thanks, guys. I'm Dylan Lux, and this is your Play of the Week, coming from none other than senior receiver Bryce Oliver from the Dakota Dome. The Penguins are looking for a late equalizing touchdown against South Dakota. Mitch Davidson rolls out to his right and finds his senior receiver on the diving catch. Looked to be lying down almost, and the celebration worthy. We'll see that again one more time as Mitch Davidson looks for a target, rolls out to his right, and finds his senior receiver, Bryce Oliver, for the touchdown. That touchdown would inevitably tie the game at 31, but the Penguins would go on to lose this one 34-31. But a great play by Bryce Oliver and a great game played by the football team. And this has been your Play of the Week. Don and Noah, back to you guys.
Thanks again, Dylan, and that will just do it here at the Penguin Rundown. You can follow us on X and Instagram at Penguin Rundown 1, and you can always go for stats and more at ysusports.com. But in the meantime, I am Noah Ricks.
I'm Donald Van Horn.
And have a fun week, Penguin Nation.